This is a Headgum podcast.
So I give over all my guests. You can either have couch or the chair.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the couch, right? Why not?
Sure.
Do you have a preference?
No, Marlo. I'm setting you up out. We're gonna go. I don't have a preference, so.
You don't.
No, Marlo. I'm gonna set you up out here. Okay. I brought
Why?
You can stay here. It's fine.
I can't even know.
Oh. But
Yeah.
All right.
We're right here.
All right, Brian. Thank you for. Do you want Quinn? Do you want Q? Do you want Brian?
Brian's fine. Q. So everybody calls me everything. So
What about B. Ryan?
I've not heard it yet, but I like it. I like the sound of it.
All right. So like B.
B. Ryan.
B. Ryan. Whatever.
I like that.
Okay.
How's this? I want to see it.
Yeah, they'll tell.
tell?
Does this sound good?
Yeah, let me, yeah, you sound good, David. Let me get a test from you, Brian.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's great.
It's great.
You're doing straight stand up or y'all are
I'm
going
not doing
out?
any stand up.
No.
That's the we tour. We do
Right.
a show like Impractical Jokers live show where we do our version of stand up. We show videos and stuff like that. But when it comes to solo stuff, like I like doing stuff with my friends and kind of having fun. Yeah, solo. But the other guys tour solo. You know, Sal and Murray and Joe all tour solo.
Well, I know Sal does. I ran into him at Benefit.
Yeah.
And I know Joe does.
Yeah.
You're the lone. You're the holdout.
I like working with friends.
Are you scared? What are you scared of?
No, I'm not scared. I don't
believe you. I don't
know that I'm scared. I think I'm just like, what am I going to go to Wisconsin by myself to throw some yucks around?
I guess when you put it that way, what if it wasn't Wisconsin? What if it was, say, Colorado or Michigan?
I mean, I guess I would go like if it was like rock. There was somebody who was like, you want to go like look at rocks in Colorado by yourself? Even then,
Well, you do both. You go look at rocks during the day, and then at night, you know, for an hour, you make some sillies, and then you know.
I don't know. It just doesn't call to me to do it. It's not fear.
Then you shouldn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I was,
Nobody who doesn't want to do stand up or doesn't have a calling should ever set foot on stage.
That's what I think, and I respect the craft. So who am I? I don't want to go up there and be like,
well, it's good.
Hey guys.
So you never have. There's never a moment where you're like, I want to do that. Or having a thought. You're walking down the street, something happens to you, and you're like, oh man, this would make a great story.
No, I like writing more than I like performing, so maybe it would go into that. But I think no, it just hasn't called to me. I have too much fun doing it with my friends, I think, to be like, I want to go do it by myself.
Yeah, but they're two separate things. You can do both. I mean, I did sketches and I also did stand-up.
Well, I think it also is a matter of, I think it just doesn't call to me. I think about like, I like performing.
Okay. That's the answer. If it doesn't, if you don't feel it in your gut, and I think most people do, and I would imagine your friends.
Yeah. Sal really does.
Yeah.
Joe really does. Mur does as well. I don't know. I think I could write something funny if I was like, let me write something, but I think it's a craft.
All right, I'll give you 5 minutes. We'll stop down.
All right.
And then let's see what you come up with.
Do you have any of those snacks that she has?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Fruit, the Welch's fruit snacks.
I just think that like...
Okay, we're back, and it's been 5 minutes, and let's see what Brian or Q or Quincy...
B. Ryan? I think
Ryan.
We decided
B. Ryan,
we were
Q,
go
Incy.
Yeah. I got this great bit on cats.
Okay, let's hear it.
I found this cat in my yard the other day, and
no, get out of here.
Yeah.
Shit.
True story. I kept him.
Yeah.
His name's Boris.
Okay.
And I got
you named him Boris, or his name was he had a tag?
No, he didn't have a tag. I named him Boris
okay.
because he's kind of like he's a mutt. He was born under a deck in my yard.
Well, how would that make what is it about a mutt that would mean they would be called Boris?
Oh, well, he's part Russian blue somewhere in there. And it really gave him like a silky Russian blue-esque fur. So I just thought Boris was an appropriate name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to say that's not very funny or...
You have notes.
Just an overall note that I would just lose it. There's nothing to even punch up. You're just saying you found a cat.
But if I showed pictures of Boris and people would be like, oh man, that cat is
Would
cute.
it make it funnier? That's the thing. And you did write this down, so
I
gave
spent a
you
lot of time. I know you said we only cut for 5 minutes, but it was really more like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna go there, but I had errands to run. I have to give blood. I also have to receive blood.
You keep mentioning that.
There are two. I give blood not far around the corner in Gramercy, and then where I receive blood is in Yonkers. There's this guy, and it's a 5th floor walk up.
You got a Yonkers guy?
Yeah, I got a guy in Yonkers. So I get my blood. And it's just the heat. 5th floor walk up, man. It's rough. That's rough. That's rough.
Well, I think all that affected my act a little bit.
Right. Me being gone for so long.
Yeah, and all the blood talk. Well,
the blood talk is happening now. So that shouldn't have affected your writing at all, unless you can see into the future and realize that I was going to mention Now
that would be a talent.
That would be a talent, and then you wouldn't even have to worry about stand-up.
I could just bend spoons.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Have you ever seen? What was his name? God, Uri Geller.
I've never met him, but I've seen.
No,
him.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I think is he still alive?
I think he is.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
There's some really great footage of him. I think Johnny Carson was a magician before he was the Johnny Carson we all know and loved. And he was one of those guys who, here's my daughter. He was one of those guys who, as most of them are.
He's still alive?
Johnny Carson? No, he died.
He died.
But would call out and was happy to call out and show up these frauds, these guys who claim to have mental powers or superpowers or whatever. And Uri Geller was one of them. He's just a fraud,
Yeah. Didn't he heat the spoons?
Yes, he had like 3 or 4 tricks. And then there's a guy named the Amazing Randy, who was also a very talented magician there's a documentary about him who the last half of his career, he just spent debunking and to their face in front of people. And then, so Carson has, and you can YouTube this. He has him on the show, and he's supposed to. It's like move a spoon or move something with his mind, right? And they both know how it's done, so they don't allow him access to this whatever the simple thing he was going to do with like blow on it or something. Yeah. I wish I had a little bit more information, but it's so simple. Whatever the thing is, he needs. He needs this thing to be there, and they're like, you can't.
He's not bending spoons with his mind.
No, he can't. It's not a real trick. It's just it's a real thing. It's a parlor trick. So he's just on there in front of, he's
on the Carson show.
Yeah. And Carson doesn't allow him to do the thing that he needs. And it's a really simple thing. Like, I must move the salt and pepper shakers here or whatever. And then he can't do it, of course.
Yeah.
And it's pretty great.
Fun.
But there's also,
like, why ruin it for everyone? Was Uri like milking people out of like?
Yeah.
Not like, hey, you want to go see a guy? Here's my nickel. I'll see him bend the spoon. But he wasn't like robbing people out of like their earnings or their retirement.
No, he wasn't. He didn't have a pyramid scheme going or anything.
So why not let the guy, like, why can't we live in a world where it's just like we have?
Because it's. I understand it from certainly from a magician's point of view. Like, you've worked really hard to do this trick. We all understand it's a trick.
Yeah.
But then if somebody comes in and does the same trick that we all know is a trick and then says, it's not a trick, I'm actually imbued with superpowers. And then I think you've created a situation that is ripe for ripping people off.
I guess, but like, I tend to look at it as like, it's just part of the showman. I mean, at the end of the day, you're still all doing the same tricks. So like Carson just didn't like his brand of showmanship.
How about this? So It's right. It's only interesting if you believe that he can actually bend a spoon with his mind. Right?
Sure.
Otherwise, it's like, well, yeah, you rubbed it and you made it.
Yeah.
That's like a life hack if you need to get out of a locked car or something.
It would be amazing. I would love it. I would love it.
But I don't know. I would feel personally, I'd say, well, you're full of shit. You're lying. I guess I don't like liars. And when you take that, here's a thing. You know, have you seen what's the fucking thing? Baby Reindeer?
I have not.
Okay.
I've heard a lot about it.
Okay. No reason to watch it.
That's part of what I heard about it.
I watched the first 4 episodes and I realized I wouldn't give a shit about this story or the way it was filmed or the way it was acted, any of it, if it wasn't true. Right?
Okay.
So this is kind of the inverse of what I was saying, but the fact now that it might not be true, that they stretched a little truth, makes me really dislike it.
Well, it's interesting. Like, where do you draw the line on that? Because to me, it's like, if I don't think that Yuri's really bending spoons and he's not, then him claiming to do it is just, to me, part of like the act. Like, I don't need to.
Sure, it's part of the act, but I think it's fraudulent, and I have
right.
Yeah, I don't then. Wouldn't you feel compelled to turn to the person next to you who's going like, oh my God, he's got magic powers. He's like Jesus. And you're like, no, he's just heating it up and then bending it.
I mean, I don't want to, like, that person really believes that he's bending spoons.
Yeah, and they vote.
Sure, but like, I don't want to, so I'm watching it in America. He came to,
yes.
All right, I'm on tour. Doing stand-up in Colorado.
And opening for you
is
Yuri Geller. He's fallen on hard times.
I don't think
he's opening up for Quinn at the Fun Zone.
Yeah.
It's just outside of Eau Claire. There's a strip mall.
The deals from Dave and Buster's are better, but sure, we'll go with that.
Okay.
And then, but no, like, I don't want to take that from that. Like, why do I want to be the person that's just like, hey, you know, that sense of wonder that you're feeling right now?
Because they're
like,
not a kid.
Who's not a kid?
The person next to you who's watching. I mean, it's not like you're going, there is no Santa Claus, you idiot.
I mean, but you're doing certainly doing a version of that.
All right, what if there was an adult who believed in Santa Claus?
But why? I don't want to be, the last thing I want to be in the world is the person that steals wonder and joy from people.
Oh, see, all right, I want to be the first person in the world.
Oh, okay. There are people I would love to steal the joy. You know, I would probably enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, Friends.
The cast of Friends? Why?
Yeah.
What about them?
Well,
are you a Chan? Let me.
I've never seen a full episode of Friends.
What if you cobbled together all the bits and pieces you've seen? Would that be a good episode?
I would rather watch the bits and pieces with the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I want to watch bits and pieces, I'd rather watch, you know, Jennifer Aniston.
Is that a euphemism?
No, I'd really rather just. Oh. I mean, I'd look at bits and pieces of Jennifer Aniston for sure. But I don't know. It never really.
Can I remind you, my 7-year-old daughter's right there.
Yeah, I know.
So let's dial it down a notch.
With the Jennifer Aniston talk.
Yeah, bits and pieces.
Yeah. Sorry about that, kid. See, I don't want to steal her wonder.
Yeah, she's 7. Why would you?
Right.
But a grown person who believes, like, I don't know, there's a deep state rogue,
that's not a sense of wonder.
You know,
that's ex Navy SEAL fear.
Named Q.
Yeah,
who has all these secrets, and like, you wouldn't want to go. Well, no, that's actually just this guy out in Singapore.
I guess I don't equate the wonder of magic tricks and you know, buffoonish entertainment with deep state conspiracies.
But he's not saying it's a magic trick. That's my point. I like magic. I appreciate it. I respect it. A good magician is great. Worked really hard on it.
Magic Castle. I love going to You've been to the Magic Castle?
I have twice, and I went very reluctantly the first time. And I was like,
second time though.
Second time was great. And so was the first time. But the first time I was like, what? I got to wear a jacket. I was being really.
They're dicks about it.
Yes,
man, they are.
I don't like. I hate dressing up for anything. And, and I'm like, oh, I got to wear a jacket. So pretentious and dumb. And I really, there was a group of people going, and my girlfriend at the time, and then, but it's great.
I love it.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then I went again with for a friend's birthday, and it's awesome. They're really talented.
The skill is, you can't even imagine it.
Yeah.
And I see what you're saying. There is something to like looking at them doing it and being like, I know it's trickery.
And there's still awe. There's still
amazing.
wonderment.
Yeah.
There's still, how did you do that? But they're not trying to tell you that they have superpowers.
But
that God imbued them with this magic ability that only they have.
Like is that?
And then when they take your money, you're like, "Fuck you."
Well, they didn't take my. You already never like if I paid him $5 to watch him bend the spoon, like I gave him my money.
Yeah. Okay.
So
wait, so you just walked up to Uri Geller and said, "Hey, I got 5 here.
Bend that spoon."
And
he's like, "Let me put these salt shakers right here." And I was like, "You go right ahead, man. I ain't Johnny Carson. I'm not gonna be a dick about the whole thing. If you need salt and shake right there, put it there." I don't know. I like the idea of like that yokel sitting next to me, really believing. Is there no more magic in your life? Is there no wonder?
I like magic. I've said it 100 times.
No, not magic. Is there no more sense of like oafish wonder, I guess, in your life?
No, I'm an adult.
There's no room for it.
There's no room for me believing that a person has been imbued with special powers by God. And those powers end at bending spoons. What a useless, dumb thing, unless you're going to rip people off.
Well, he did it.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Like, what? All right. There's no way that I feel I understand how the universe works, right?
Right.
It's just beyond us, right? Like, I don't know what's going on.
Right. Yeah. Okay. We have ideas, and they're being refined and changed every day.
They might be outdated in 100 years or something like that. I think it's just like I just accept that. Like, I don't really know much about how everything really works.
I don't even know how electricity. How you have water, you dam up water, and then then I could power the. I don't even understand
water,
that.
At least
part.
I can get the hill, the reservoir to your faucet.
No, I get gravity, but I don't understand like how you have a dam.
Sure.
I mean, I understand the simplistic
How do you build
overview.
it though?
How do you build the dam?
While the water's flowing. Do you have to dam up the dam?
You dam you do I think a practice dam.
So they like
just a little guy. You get a bunch of beavers.
Yeah.
And then you're like, they're not looking. Well, the water's not looking. We'll really
we
put
don't even got to pay these fucking beavers. They're out there doing it. Right. No, I don't get it either. But I don't know anything. So it's just like, what if like next year you found out like, oh, actually there is like this component of the human mind that when stimulated allows you to physically affect the world around you.
I still wouldn't believe it.
You still wouldn't believe
it?
Wow.
No, I don't believe.
What's the benefit
of not believing it?
Or believing it? Yeah, not believing it.
Okay, the benefit of not believing it is hopefully I'll never get ripped off by anybody who sees me coming down the street.
Yeah, okay.
And the benefit of believing it is, I don't know, you tell me. What is the benefit of believing it?
Well, I don't believe it. I'm just saying,
what would the benefit be?
I think the benefit would be, I don't know, it's just like a slightly cooler world than the one we live in. Like it's a little bit, like life is so hard and life is so, at times brutal and humiliating. So wouldn't it be nice to just...
Are you talking about your stand-up now or just...
My stand-up is fucking awesome. Like my stand-up, you don't even understand how funny it is, man. I got this bit about this cat. It kills.
Yeah.
It fucking kills.
Great. In Wisconsin,
in Ohio, parts of Milwaukee.
Parts of Milwaukee. What parts?
Mainly the south side of Milwaukee, where the Fonzie statue is.
Yeah.
That shit kills. They love the cat.
I'm surprised that they didn't make the Fonzie statue a little bit bigger. It's for a statue. It's just like a guy. It almost looks like a guy, like a street performer busker thing, where a guy dresses up in gold and then doesn't move until you put a dollar in the hat.
You like those guys?
I love those guys.
Fucking love those guys.
But now I believe that they are really gold, and they really cannot move until I place paper currency or linen, currency into their hat.
The coin of the realm.
Yeah.
Into the hat.
That I believe in, and that's fun for me to believe in it, and it makes my days and weeks and months go by like that until I'll be on my deathbed and I'll
still thinking about it.
And giggling. Like how not so much like how did they do that, but that they did it. That they are really made of gold.
That they did it. I know. It's stunning.
Anyway, whenever I pass that Fonzie statue, I'm expecting it to move.
How often do you?
I try to go once a week.
Yeah,
because there's a direct flight on United, I believe.
I get it.
Yeah.
So you're 1K by 1K by now. Premium. They let you board first.
I just started.
Nice.
I just started next week.
Do you think that they made that statue life size and he's just not a big?
I've worked with Henry a couple times.
Sure.
And also truly one of the sweetest, nicest, just genuine, awesome people you've ever.
Like somebody's falling for that Yuri-esque.
And he can bend if it's a soft shoe. He can bend a shoe like a sneaker.
That's cool. He's the Fonz though.
He's the Fonz.
Is he still the Fonz?
I don't think so. I think that 2014 is when that.
So it's up. It's just up.
It's been up. Yeah.
It's up for grabs.
Yeah, it's up for grabs. Don't quote me on that, but I believe
I never would.
2014 is when the rights went away from Henry, and
so they're gonna just throw that statue right in that river, tear it down.
I don't know. I mean, it's I know that there was talk of pulling it down, a la the Hussein statue.
Topple it. To really topple.
To topple it, exactly. That's the word I was looking for. Right. To topple it during the whole, you were around for cancel culture, right?
I mostly ducked out.
Okay, so it was a big deal here it wasn't a real thing, but it was people were talking about it a lot. The irony of, that they were freely talking on podcasts and TV and radio and just talking about how they couldn't talk about things anymore. But so they were they were pulling the Confederate statues, getting rid of like the Robert E. Lee statue in Virginia and whatever.
They got rid of that, huh?
I think they turned it into another Fawn statue.
See, now this is what.
Well, they're going to put that one on top of the other one because it's a little small. It's surprisingly lifelike.
I love that idea.
Yeah, two Fonzies on top of each other.
I mean, your daughter's right there, man. I don't know if we want to get into this. Two Fonzies.
I mean, she's gonna find out anyway at some point.
She's gonna learn one day.
And look, I'm going to be in Milwaukee on. Emma, Google. Oh wait, I got it right here. Blue Chew, our next sponsor needs. Well, I don't even need to say that part. They're saying they don't need an introduction. Maybe that's just for me. Okay. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost and in a chewable form. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. One of their licensed medical providers. Blue Chew tablets are made in the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, and be prepared to have it shipped directly to your door. The best part, it's all done online. That means no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. Wink. Blue Chew wants you to have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. Blue Chew wants the entire country rock hard. They told me that's the mission. They will not stop until every man is bricked up like a brick house, till every tent is pitched, till every rod is raised, Discover your options at BlueChew.com. And we got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code SENSES at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code SENSES to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
Do you need an opener?
I do, actually. That is some sweet timing. What is it? When am I there? I'm in Milwaukee on the 27th and the 28th, I believe, of July. And then I'll be in Omaha the following 2 days. Or I'm in Omaha and then Milwaukee. I'm not sure. But I'll be doing 2 nights there. Definitely need an opener. And I'm going to bring my daughter with me so she will, with her eyes, see the 2 Fonzies on top of each other and say, Daddy, why? With a tear. Why would God allow this? With one tear. Yeah. With one teardrop tattoo that I'm going to put on her so she doesn't get messed with.
Yeah.
You know,
that means she killed someone.
That's exactly right.
Prison.
That's why, exactly.
Yeah. So
nobody's going to mess with her.
Yeah, I could do like a tight 5 on the cat for you if you need.
No, not you.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were. I'm sorry. I thought you were asking me to open for you.
Nope.
No,
I answered your question. Do you need an opener? And I said yes.
I see.
I didn't. If you had said, "Do you want me to open for you?" I would have said no.
It was more of an offer than a question. But yeah, no. It's
well, it didn't sound like an offer. It sounded like a question. I mean, it was a question.
Yeah, I guess I got to work on that. Yeah. I got to work on my networking skills in general. I think.
Oh, that's, regardless of how you network, I'm not going to have you open.
Nothing I can do. We'll get you.
Just get better at stand-up. Have a desire. Have it be from here. And I'm pounding on my heart for those who can't see.
Well, what sort of advice do you have for a young man such as myself who's starting out in stand-up?
I would say the first thing I'd say is let's work on your definition of the word young, and then we'll take it from there. What do you consider young?
They say 50 is the new 40. So I'm going to.
Who's they? The 60-year-olds?
Yeah, they got to say
the 50-year-olds are saying.
They look in the other direction, they're fucked. I guess young. I guess, maybe these days, I don't know, maybe you tap out at like 42.
What, of life?
No, of being young.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And you just give up, if that's how it works?
Oh, I'll never
You're tapping out.
Me? No.
Oh, no, you're still young at heart. That's
what
they mean.
I'm 48. But
48. So you're 6 years removed from being young.
From my youth. Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah. That was my youth.
42 was,
when I was young.
When
now,
you were young.
I'm like middle-aged.
Sure. And when do you expect to be an old man?
I think that hits maybe like, I think in today's era, maybe when you're 72, you kind of like, all right, I'm old. I think your 60s, right? You got to be like, right? Like you're still young. I don't think like you.
Well, thank you. That's very nice of you to say.
I think because like it's all about when someone dies, right? If they die at 60, you're like, oh man, they got robbed.
Yeah.
You die in your 70s, people are like, oh, yeah, he had a good run. He had a good run.
That's that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I
So if somebody dies when they're 70, you're like, they had, or if they die when they're 60, rather, you're like, they have 10 years left.
They had
what are they doing? They missed their last 10 years.
They fucked
Now, how do you feel about people pushing 88, 89, 90?
Go for it, man. I love it.
Really? You don't think they're being life hogs? Like just sort of leave some of that for us younger folks?
I don't think it's a pool that we all reach into, because if it was possible to do that, I would have done that already. Wouldn't you have? If there was a pool of youth to reach,
well, it'd be not youth so much as just life, living.
I think I would make a great vampire, because if I could suck the youth and life out of someone, I probably would.
Who would be the first person?
Well, you want to suck up, you don't want to suck down. Right? So you want to get someone who's had a pretty good, easy life and take it from them.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So a Kardashian.
Oh man, I could live forever in some of that Kardashian. Yeah. Do you not like the Kardashians?
Personally?
Sure.
I don't like what they represent. I don't like what they, I don't like being rewarded for not doing anything real and not no discernible talent, and the idea they contributed to this warped idea of what reality is, and that it's false and phony, and I think most of the tears are bullshit, and I feel I feel bad in a way, but then again, who am I to feel bad? Maybe they're just happy, and they make other people happy, and with their concealer, their lines of concealer,
right.
and
they're a lot like Yuri in a way for you.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't like bullshit.
There's no phonies and there's no bullshitters that you like. Like, one of my favorite books, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chuck Barris wrote it. For anybody who doesn't know, he's the producer of the dating show.
Gong Show.
And the Gong Show. He was a host of the Gong Show. He wrote an autobiography in which he claimed that he was really an assassin for the CIA. Brilliant, I thought. Never admitted that it was fake. Went to his grave claiming it was true. The CIA is like, no way. He's like, well, what the fuck would you expect him to say? So he's like a Kardashian and a Yuri to you? Or
no, I think he's fucking with, and the fact that you don't know and that we don't know is kind of a testament to it was kind of either a brilliant prank or it was true. It's one or the other.
Right.
But the Kardashians aren't pranking us.
No,
they're not. We're not under some, we don't truly believe they're so talented and it's not like they're tricking us. They're just vapid, vessels.
Well, I mean, I guess my thing is like, if he's like, hey, I wrote this book in which I'm telling you I'm a CIA assassin, give me $5. How different is it from Yuri being like, hey man, I'm going to bend some spoons. You want to check this shit out? $5.
Well, I think the fact that one wrote a book,
sure,
puts it into a different category.
Okay.
It'd be interesting if Uri Geller wrote a book about how he was a CIA operative.
Yeah.
That
would be wild.
I will tell you one book that you should get.
Please.
I'll have to. It's I got to remember the name from it. John Benjamin and I have read from it on stage. It's letters from. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but there's a rabbi who is like a Hollywood rabbi. He goes on these shows. He's Oprah's favorite rabbi, and he does like sex talks and whatever. And his name is Shmuley, Boteach. So it's a Boteach or Boteach, or and he is the most. He's just a media whore. One of these guys who just loves being on TV, loves talking about himself. It's all this kind of bullshit, Deepak Chopra type of simplistic platitudes and just good, feel good and, take a moment to close your eyes and think of lavender and, one of those.
Yeah. You got no use for guys like that.
None, zero.
Yeah.
And he and Uri Geller wrote a book, and it's their quote unquote letters to each other. And they're just this gushing, dick sucking fucking, it's just so.
So Yuri wrote a book.
Yuri, well, quote unquote, wrote they're supposedly letters.
Can't give Yuri anything.
No, I'm not.
Why won't you give him anything?
Because he's a fraud.
He wrote a book.
They're presumed letters to each other, but they clearly knew they were going to write a book.
He has a way to win with you. I just think he doesn't have a way to win with you.
He doesn't. He's a liar and a fraud.
But so's Chuck Barris.
How do you know? How do you
right.
know?
You're right. I don't.
That's the thing. I know Uri Geller is a liar and a fraud and taking your money under a false pretense.
So you think there's a shot Chuck Barris, who's one of my heroes. I'm not trying to bring down Chuck Barris.
I like to believe, to quote B. Ryan Quinn's.
Yeah.
I like to believe. What's the harm?
It's a sense of
believing?
wonder,
Why would
man.
you take that away from
I don't
me?
want. I want to give it back to you. That's what that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to do.
Happy birthday
to me.
Yeah.
To you. When is your birthday?
April 4th.
Mine's March 14th.
Okay.
So you're Pisces?
I was born Aries, but I had it legally changed to Gemini.
Was that a difficult process? Because
there's all kinds of stupid red tape, and I did this in Georgia, so it's different state by state. Yeah. I know it's easier to do it here in New York.
I think they have services now that you could just go online, you fill out some forms, and then there's
a place out of Scotland that will can that you pay them $2,000 or whatever it is. Or whatever it is in pound sterling, and then and they will facilitate everything and get all the paperwork done and get everything stamped.
You're dealing with the Scots though at that point.
Say what?
You're dealing with the Scots at that point.
Yeah, they're I mean.
I'm sorry. I was thinking of the Irish. That's right. I like the Scots. Scots great.
So what about the Irish? Is
lazy? My last name's Quinn. So I've always felt like this Irish, I'm going to say Irish curse. That sounds wrong to say.
Wrong you're like incorrect or?
Yeah, I don't want to.
So there's no curse, you're saying?
Yeah, I don't want to say it like that. But I think that when people find out my last name, they're like, oh, just cut this guy off, man.
Right.
Yeah.
From drinks?
They're like,
Don't serve him.
That's enough.
He's Irish.
Yeah, I went on a cruise once and I bought that bracelet that they just serve you all day.
Yeah,
and
I don't know, but I like that.
Yeah, they serve you all. You don't have to pay for drinks. You have the band.
Well, that's the concept of a cruise, right? You just pay everything up front,
unless they find out you're Irish, and then they're like, "Whoa!"
Right, and then it's just
water.
Meat and potatoes. Oh, that's all you get. Meat, potatoes.
Fucking boiled cat. Everybody else is eating. Yeah. Everybody else is eating lobster and beef Wellington, and they're like, "Have some more potatoes and some cabbage," and I'm like,
"You fucking patty."
Yeah, I'm like, "Fuck, man."
Yeah.
So anyway, but I like the Scots. So no, I would go to them for that.
Yeah,
for that service.
Yeah, go into they do a good job. The Irish, lazy and very, quick to cancel culture. That's where it started. Yeah,
I think they would be the last that wants anybody looking into their rooting around in the their past.
Yeah,
the Troubles.
Yeah,
that's something they had, right?
Yes, that's historically correct. Yeah. It's such a good feeling to find a pair of jeans that fit perfectly. Jeans that are comfortable, high quality, can be dressed up or down. For me, those are my Doer jeans. Hey everybody, it's David Cross for Doer. If you haven't ordered your own Doers yet, well, now is the Now is the... No. Sorry. Now is the time. Look, I can have a hard time finding jeans that feel good and look good. These jeans are comfortable enough to travel in. I've been wearing my Doers every day. To work, to dinner, to parties, etc. Doers is made for everything we do in a day, with styles of stretch performance denim and lifestyle apparel for men and women. These aren't your typical jeans. Doers denim features 360-degree stretch. It's made from technical fibers designed to keep you cool and dry, and is sustainably made with plant-based materials. See for yourself why Doer is the most wanted denim. I know you'll love these jeans. I just do. Visit Doer's flagship stores in LA or Denver, or shop online at shopdoer.com. shop.do.com/senses. Right now, my listeners get 20% off their first order when you use my exclusive URL, which is shopder.com/senses. Now look, folks, this is an amazing deal. Don't wait. Get 20% off your first order now at shopdoer.com/senses.
I was in London last week.
For the Troubles reunion?
No, it was the Mets were playing the Phillies. So I went over to feel the disappointment of loss on another country, and went over there and I met this young man named Harrison, who is a gypsy traveler. They live in caravans.
Oh yeah, right. So the travelers, or the tinkers, sometimes they're called.
He seemed very serious that I call him a gypsy. And I was like, I don't think that,
right.
I was trying to do the thing where I'm like, I don't know. And he goes, fuck that, man. He goes, my mother fed gypsy to me through her tit milk. And I'm a gypsy.
That's one way to do it. Yeah.
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 So he was Irish. This is what, this is what I'm getting at, And
so he's a tinker.
He's a gypsy. Yeah.
Well, those,
he said he didn't have a birth certificate.
That's probably correct.
Yeah.
I believe it. Or they didn't save it,
Yeah.
They're a very specific group of folks. We don't really have the equivalent here in the States of the travelers, of the tinkers. I know, but they
Tinkerers?
Tinkers, yeah.
But what does that come? What's the root of tinkers?
I don't know. It might be derogatory. I don't know.
Probably.
When they're because they'll come to England and do all that stuff. So that you have the Irish and the Gypsies and the Romanians or whatever, and then they live in the caravans. And there's kind of a, I know that there's a lot of derogatory things said and thought about them, and that I certainly can't vouch for, but I do know that there was a while ago, this is for real, there was a bunch of folks came to Disney, the one in Florida, Disney World, and tried to do some scams, like brothers and sisters and families, and they were trying to scam the Disney World and the hotels and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, good luck.
Yeah, they got caught, obviously, and they got hurt because part of the scam was getting hurt for real and then trying to sue, and so it's somehow, I don't know if they they've hit me with that bottle, kind of thing.
Yeah. And it's funny because it was probably like 90 degrees and they were in the flat cap and the wool vest and the wool pants, thinking that they were
I don't think they were from the early 1900s, but no, this would have been
Nicole and
no, this wasn't. They weren't. No, it wasn't.
Would they fall off Splash Mountain? How they would they?
I don't remember, but there's a whole thing that I read. This has got to be around 10 years ago or something like that. But it was a whole.
So they probably were.
Families came over and it was part of a scam, and I think I want to say it was a brother and sister were pretending to be a couple or some weird shit.
Wow.
And they involved their kids in it, and it was like and they were travelers, tinkers, whatever.
Well, I feel like they can't be real tinkers or travelers because they had to have documentation to get in the country. They had to fly from whatever godforsaken Irish village they came from. So you got to get on a plane with passports and stuff like that.
What about a boat?
Yeah. I mean, I saw that movie. I saw that
Titanic, Avatar.
Yeah. No. It was the one.
Furiosa.
It was the one where everybody down below was playing violins and having a good time. And DiCaprio was like, this place is the best.
Hellboy.
Yes. Yeah. It's one where he had the horn,
the bolt kind of thing.
Yes, that was it. And he was coming over from Ireland. Mm-hmm. And you're right. He didn't have papers when he got on the ship.
Yeah.
But what are they doing? They're going to go against Disneyland's lawyers? That's the fucking, you guys. It's not
they were not successful.
Yeah, no fucking shit. They weren't successful.
They're not bright. They're not bright.
They tell you they tell you at Disney that if you complain about anything, you get anything for free. Have you ever heard that? Just go to the front desk and be like, "Oh, my visit wasn't exactly perfect," and they'll bend over backwards. I've heard that my whole life.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's not true.
Did you try it?
I got this fucked up looking Mickey Mouse ice cream. The ear was down here, And I was like, this is outrageous. Like, you guys are charging $5.
And so you took the ice cream up to the front desk?
Damn straight I did. And I was like, what's
the front desk of Disney World?
Yeah, when you walk through the gates, there's like it looks like a firehouse, but it's not really a firehouse because that would be cool. It's like where you go to complain and where you go to get rejected because they were literally like, it's ice cream.
So you got your ice cream, but that went a couple miles away and then got back
right on Main Street, brother. Right on Main Street. And believe me, like the guy selling, he's got the suspenders and the hat and the straw hat, and they got welcome to the when life was good. And they got the picture of Mickey Mouse, and it's got 2 ears, very clearly, 2 ears.
Sure.
And then I get it, I unwrap it from the single-use plastic, Disney, and 1 ear's down here.
Bad, right?
Yeah, and it's like that's not. So I was like, well, this is my opportunity. You went there. It's a free ride from now on.
And so what happened?
No, and they were like, you could still eat that ice cream. And I was
they got a point. But your issue wasn't that you couldn't eat it. It was that it was a misrepresentation of your childhood hero.
My point is I could eat a lot of things. Hero.
Yeah.
I can eat that plant.
Go right ahead.
I don't.
You want to?
If it was shaped like Mickey, then I would go. I believe me.
Well, we have hot sauce.
Yeah, but like I feel like I should have just got the experience I wanted, and the time I got there was like melted, like because I didn't want to lick it or eat it because I didn't want to because then they're gonna be like, you just fucking bit the ear off, dude.
Yeah,
I didn't want that.
And so, what did they say?
They didn't give me anything. They said no, you could still eat that.
But that was it, and that was
it. I was like, not a front of the line pass, and they were like, no, that's for people in wheelchairs.
Oh wow.
Yeah, which you could rent there. So you rent a wheelchair and that's cheaper than getting the front of the line pass? I think that front of the line pass doesn't work anymore.
Oh, so how do you get in the front of the line? How does B. Ryan Quinn's get to the front of the line?
He gets on the line and he just fucking waits.
He waits for somebody to go, hey, you're the dude from the thing.
Yeah. And then I hope that the person, the guy, how they're in character at the Haunted Mansion and they're, I'd say 1,000 degrees and he's dressed in black like a mortician. You hope he's like, oh, I like that show, but in character.
Oh, yeah. He'd have to be in character because he'd get fired.
I like that show.
Yeah.
You step right this way. That never happens.
When you were at Disney World, did you see Uri Geller, the Uri Geller Experience? I didn't.
I didn't even know they had it. I did see Joey Fatone from NSYNC.
Sure.
So
what'd he do?
He sang a little. He sang.
That was a very strange response.
Yeah, he sang. And he did.
And then he sang some more.
Synchronized dancing.
And then he walked out the door to a store.
You've seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw the show.
I'm not a fan of the song.
Oh. Yeah. He does it great. His version's...
Sure. Well, he's a professional.
I believe he's going... When Fatone and those pipes,
yeah.
I believe he's going to the store.
But he's a fraud because he's not going to a store and he sings it every time and he's full of shit.
And right away, we're right back to the beginning.
Yeah, he's a
no
liar
Yuri.
and I'm not... I don't want to give him my money. I don't want to give money to liars.
So when you go to Disney, you pay that like $1,000 or $5,000 fee where they're like, we'll walk you around the back. You can't walk around Disney, right?
No, I say, I don't. I have Hillary Clinton's people call, and I'm like, David Cross would like to come to experience the park.
Yeah.
Can we shut it down for the day?
Right.
And there's like a good 5, 6, 7 minutes back and forth. And then you give them the IMDb page, and then they Google and all this stuff, and they're like, well, what has he done? How many awards has he won?
They get into that.
And then they get the whole thing. And then eventually this is the only way it really works. He's got a week to live, and so we pull that card.
Yeah.
And then I get 50% off my Pirates Out of the Caribbean drink.
Nice, because they don't put rum in it, but they make it taste like it's got rum in it. So that's.
But they put something called Frum, and it's like fake rum. From F-R-U-M, not F-R-O-M.
From no, I love it.
Yeah,
I was there one time.
Fun. It's called Fun Rum.
Fun rum.
Fun Rum,
and it's for the kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and I bring my own rum in. Yeah. I had reconstructive shoulder surgery about 7 years ago. Ooh. So this is, I've got like what do you call them? Polymer resin screws in here.
Of course.
But they're hollow. I got 4 of them, so I fill those with rum, right, and then I can pop them back.
So is it just you push them deeper in and they go into your bloodstream, or you have to pull the screws out and then
pull the screws out and then unscrew the screw?
It's part of the fun.
And then you don't get it. Doesn't hold a lot, maybe an eyedropper's worth, but I have 4 of them.
But you went on Pirates of the Caribbean.
No, I got the drink. I got a 50% off a Pirates of the Caribbean drink featuring Fun rum, which I had my own rum too.
Right. Yeah, I could see that. I see that. The ride has been rebranded heavily with Johnny Depp.
Sure.
So do you think that they were watching that trial like, oh man, what do we do here? Are we gonna have to pull down all these Johnnies?
That was part of the trial, right?
Yeah.
Right. Didn't
there had to be a way to that it was going to go, that they were going to be like, get him out, get Johnny out, right?
I suppose. I mean, they have a pretty squeaky clean image. That's part of what their deal is. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm just trying to make through my stand-up comedy.
Still or sparkling?
I will take sparkling. Thank you.
Okay, Emma?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'll see if I can add some bubbles.
Okay, thank you. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. Drinking like an Irishman.
Thank you. How's this going for you?
I think it's going well. I think it's going really well. I don't know if I would go on record as saying it's your best episode yet.
Oh, I mean, that's...
Because I don't think I should be the one to say
that's not going to happen.
Yeah, you don't think anybody out there is going to be like, that was it, man. Like, that was...
Well, who's that lady you came with?
That was my friend.
Yeah, so she might say that.
She would not. Yeah, okay. Trust me on that one.
She's a good friend. She's honest.
She's a good friend.
Keeps you grounded.
She will not...
Doesn't let your head get too big.
Yeah, but is it the worst?
No.
Oh.
No. The worst, I think, we could all agree, was my wife, Amber.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
was...
co-sign that.
What?
Yeah.
I don't co-sign.
All right, so who do you think was the worst guest? The worst episode?
No, I'll tell you off mic. I'd have to think about it.
Okay.
No one's coming to mind, though, which I think is a good thing. No standout bad episodes.
All right.
But not this one.
Cool.
This one's a little tough.
This one's tough. This one's tough.
You'd have to put it in the bottom 3, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, how could I sink it? I mean, if I'm gonna be at the, I mean, I'd rather be at the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, how do I get worse?
You just gotta take all your clothes off and leave.
Well, then I'm gonna get the cancellation.
Yeah, because of my 7-year-old.
No, because of my tattoos.
Oh.
Yeah.
What are they?
They're not in fashion anymore.
Oh, what are they? Iron Cross?
In a way.
Yeah?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, don't tease me. What do you got?
But it's just it's just a Superman tattoo, which...
A Superman tattoo?
Yeah.
Oh, but like the Uber Alles kind of German...
Yeah, he's got a little mustache. It's really, it's really like, I don't know what I was thinking last week.
You know, I have Hitler on my body.
Do you?
Yeah.
Where's that?
Right. There's Hitler. I can't really see it.
What's he up to?
He's getting spanked by God.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a happy ending.
Yeah, there you go. And his tears are creating the clouds, which create the rain, which grow the crops.
What's the story there? I mean, I know the story of God.
Of Hitler?
Oh yeah, sure. That's it.
Little baby Hitler was born in Austria. Yeah. And did you see The Curse, the show?
No. Should I?
Yeah, it's great. It's all about Hitler. It's all about it's like Hitler's origin story. It's Emma Stone, Nathan Fielder, and Benny
Emma Stone
Safdie.
plays Hitler.
A version.
A virgin.
Yeah. A version.
A version.
Yeah, not a virgin Hitler.
He got laid. Say what you want about Hitler.
Dude,
that guy got
so much pussy. Man.
Yeah, that guy crushed.
Oh my Lord. Yeah.
That guy
crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess if you got to say something about the guy, that's it.
Yeah.
And he's the one that killed Hitler, which is funny.
Who killed Hitler?
Hitler killed Hitler. We all talk about, let's go back and kill Hitler. He did it.
Oh, that's right.
Hitler killed Hitler.
Do you think he went back in time?
I mean,
and said, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy.
We all say to ourselves, if I would go back and kill Hitler.
Yeah.
Because we like to think of ourselves as the hero of the story.
Sure.
But
he's the true hero.
He's the fucking one that killed Hitler.
Yeah. Wow, that's a crazy twist, man. That's fucking Chris Nolan Inception type crazy turning on itself. Yeah.
So what do we
He went back in time and said, I'm going to kill Hitler, me. Yeah. I'm going to kill me.
I'm going to do it.
This monster.
Is there now? That's good stand-up material, right?
That's great. I don't know if you saw my last special.
Oh, did you tell that on stage? That exact.
Sort of. It's I lead you to believe. I go. It's the end of the special, and it's called "The Worst Daddy in the World." And you want to hear something?
Like 2 months old, right?
Yeah, it's But I found out yesterday. This is such a bummer.
Oh.
And what I'm about to tell you is true.
Okay.
So I still feel that special was the strongest in the last like 3 tours, like going way back. And the New York Times did an amazing review, like just couldn't be better. It's just really, really good. And I was like, guys, I think I have a shot at getting nominated. I'm not talking about winning an Emmy, but nominated, because it's always the same group of folks, right? It's Dave Chappelle and
I know it's never Impractical Jokers.
Nor should it be, but stand up. We're talking about stand up.
Oh no.
And it's the same handful of folks each time. Yeah. And I was like, I think I have a really good shot, and if people see it, who knows? But it's just about just recognizing it, because I do think it's the best stuff I've done. Yeah. And then I belong to the Academy, I'm a voting member.
You get those screeners.
And now it's all streamed. But you know what I mean? You can get access it through the vote.
Yeah, the app, right? Yeah.
Okay. So I went to vote, and you got 10 days, right? And I went yesterday. I think there's 3 or 4 days left, maybe. And
can you see where you are in the standings or no?
No. Okay. It's just a big. They have the categories, and then you scroll down through the things, and I get to my special, and my name isn't on it.
Oh boy!
It just says, because everyone else is like, Amy Schumer. Something, and then the title of the thing, or Dave Chappelle, something, Kevin Hart, and it just says, the worst daddy in the world, C. David, no last name, C. David in this special taped at Chicago, July of whatever it was, Chicago and the Metro.
Who's responsible for that?
I am not sure, but I was very upset for about 3 hours, and then yesterday.
Oh, yes.
And then I'm like, whatever, it's a missed opportunity, but not even. It's a hypothetical. Who knows?
Well, who knows if you're going to lose?
But I think I'm getting ahead of myself, and there's nothing to say that I would have gotten enough votes to be considered for, because I think you can vote for a bunch. I can't remember how many.
Right.
And then they, sift it down. But and yeah, I've done specials, a number of them that have been nominated for Grammys, but not nominated for the TV version.
Does it matter to you? Like, is it one of those things where you're like, it would be a nice feather in the cap to win it, or you like? I mean, obviously you care because you were upset. I don't know if you're upset at the incompetence or the fact that it might have knocked your chances down.
Well, both,
right? Because you're a legend. Like you don't need.
Well, it's not about. It's. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm not going to fight you on that.
Yeah,
but I just want to continue doing this and sell tickets and sell out shows. And I think getting nominated for an Emmy would pretty much ensure that and put me up. Right now, I have a really great, dedicated, hardcore audience, but it's not massive. You know, like these kids, these TikTok kids are going out there and selling out big theaters in a matter of an hour. And I'm
well, at least you have someone like direct your rage, your disappointment towards.
No, it's all sent through me to my daughter and my dog.
Yeah,
I
understand that. Dan, it's funny to even think of you even caring about it because you're such a. Well, I mean, I'm not saying it's a fault. I'm just saying, like, it's funny to even
care
think
about the last couple ones. I didn't have any real expectations. I didn't realistically think, the last three. Well, I thought maybe the Making America Great Again might, but I didn't think Oh Come On or I'm From the Future were going to be
right. This one you were especially proud of, and
this one I thought, especially because of the because it's really pretty ballsy, and there's some kind of things that are I don't want to say experimental, but like just fuck with the convention of stand up, and but also. It's topical. It's and it's good. It's a good. I think it's the best. And this started because I was talking about the closer, which is about going back in time and killing the person responsible for the mess we're in, and blah blah. And you think I'm talking about Trump, but I'm talking about Jesus Christ. And then I do a whole 9-minute bit about going back and killing
in the manger.
No, I'm very specific about not killing him on day one. I think that's really kind of unseemly. And I wouldn't go when he's like in his early 30s because he was really kind of cut and buff.
And at some point he's going to take you.
Yeah, he's going to. I'm 60 and I'm not the guy I used to be, and I couldn't. And he's got the fucking posse and all that shit. Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out a time.
Age?
I end up out of process of elimination, like not when he's a teenager, but he was very sullen and acne scarred and just constantly jerking off.
Like a teenager.
Exactly. Yeah. He's a human being.
Sure.
And
part.
I mean, he is.
Yeah,
he was
part.
And so then I settle on, I think, 4. When he's 4.
Okay.
Because it'd be easy.
Oh, he's a cute little moppet. Like you're gonna be able to get in there.
I mean, you have to get past that, Brian.
Yeah. But what do you like? What's the accomplishment? Like, what is? So you curb stomp a 4-year-old Jesus?
I do not curb stomp him. It's not about. No, it's not about. I'm not sadistic.
What's around?
I'm not. A river. You drown him in a river.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then the great thing about drowning is your life in a very colorful way flashes before your eyes right before you die.
I'm at a 4. What's he seeing?
Well, 3.
I don't know, man, because like what if he comes back to life 3 days later as a 4-year-old?
Yeah.
Oh, you're never going to shut this kid up. Like at least he was mature enough to handle the coming back from the grave later on.
Right.
As a 4-year-old.
But then when he came back from the grave, he just went straight up to heaven. So it's not like.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't get what the big deal is. His body, so he rose from the dead.
Yeah, sure.
But he immediately went to heaven where he would have been anyway.
Yeah.
So what's the point? So he rose from the dead. Who gives a shit? He didn't do anything. It's not like he's like, hey, let me clean up the dishes first and then I'll scoot back to heaven. Hang on, I forgot my good sweater.
There's a little bit in your face, like in your fucking face, Romans. I'm out of here.
Yeah, but I don't.
There's
not a written record of any Romans going, what the fuck?
You know they were, though.
But there's not they have a record of everything else. They
had that record till King James came along, and you know what that fucking scallywag did is he cut out all that stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's the Bible we grew up with.
Yeah, I know.
And I've certainly talked about this, but the Bible was written by. It were stories orally told to some of the few people who knew how to write, and they weren't held in high regard back then.
Sure,
that was like the thing for the village idiot.
Nor are they really today,
but they happened 30 to 90 years after Jesus died.
I see.
So there's stories that have been told, and stories grow. Right, I caught a fish this big. Right,
yeah.
And then they were written down by people who didn't know how to read or write very well.
Right,
and then King James took it and edited it.
Maybe he made it better.
Okay.
I get it, but the facts of those stories are pretty simplistic. Like, I wonder what they're missing. What nuance?
They're.
It's like, how do you fuck that one up? You're like, yeah, he died, and then he came back. I mean,
it either happened or it didn't, right?
Right. Yeah. It's like it wasn't.
Or maybe there's it was like a chicken with its head cut off, where there's like a little spasm, a little bit of electricity left in Jesus's body.
One writer was getting a little.
Yeah.
He's getting a little jiggy with it, as Will Smith said, right? And yeah, maybe.
Or maybe they think he rose from the dead because they opened up the tomb and he was not there, right? But maybe there was just a grave robber who was in a necrophilia, and he's like, I want to fuck the Son of God. Why not? That'd be a big score for that person, I think.
It's either that or a guy in the sky came down and took the body.
Like a sky hook.
Yeah, I don't know which one it might be.
Yeah.
It might be.
But we'll never know. We'll never know.
Well, I guess when we die, we'll know.
Oh yeah, we'll
in heaven?
Shoot up into heaven.
We'll be podcasting in heaven.
In the great man.
Yeah.
They must have an awesome podcast in heaven.
Shit, man.
Bill Maher's there jamming with Jimi Hendrix and Keith Moon on drums, and
you're in heaven and you have a podcast. You have the bench, right? Yeah. You could be like Hendrix. You're gonna be my in-house band.
Yeah, there you go.
Holy shit!
Keith Moon on drums and Janice singing backup and fucking the In Excess guy sucking his own dick. Oh my gosh!
Well, we're all sucking our own dicks if we can in heaven. Yeah. But do you think that if you found out for sure? How does you change your ways if you find out that podcast in heaven is possible? If you follow the rules that King James had laid down, are you walking the straight and narrow?
I don't understand the question.
Like, are you following the rules set forth in the Bible on how to live a life?
Yeah, I think I'm a decent person. I mean, the ways that I interpret the words of Jesus about compassion and tolerance and
drowning a 4-year-old. That part of it.
Well, that's a story.
That
didn't really happen.
Oh,
I didn't really go back in time.
Right back to that Yuri.
Yeah, I did not really go back in time and do that. It's a bit.
It's a bit, but you don't. Right.
Is it an Emmy-worthy bit? Well, we'll never know. I think
so. But like, are you telling you're telling people it's a bit now?
Yes.
Did you tell those people that day that it was a bit?
Oh my gosh, they thought it was real. No, but it's a hypothetical. I present it as
right.
Yeah. Brian, thank you so much.
Yeah.
For
I guess.
We're done.
I guess the episode's over when you pick up your phone and start texting.
Well,
your friends.
Can I tell you something that Marla said? We went roller skating down at the Pier 2 in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
It was great. And we passed a small film crew, and there was a film cop, whatever. Yeah. And I was like, hey, what are they shooting over there? And she goes, a commercial. I was like, oh, okay. And then Marlo says, I hope it's not a Raymore and Flanagan. I swear to God, she said, and I laughed.
What's the issue?
I laughed and I was like, what? And she's like, why are you laughing? That's just an odd specific, an oddly specific.
And why would a copy in it? Like, why would?
I just thought it was funny. I hope it's not a Raymore and Flanagan. I don't even. That's furniture, right? Where does she even know those commercials from? Anyway, so I end every episode with a question from Marlo, who you met earlier.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And here's this week's question. B. Ryan Quinn's.
Mm-hmm.
Do ants even have hearts? Hey, I should get her in here for a second. Hang on a second.
I mean, is it physically?
We could put her on mic.
Yeah.
Hey, Marlo. Yeah. I'm going to ask the question that you asked. Do you want to hear the answer? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you can sit wherever you want. I'm sitting in that chair. I'll sit there. Okay. So, Marlo, today's question from Marlo is...
Yeah.
B. Ryan Quinn's.
Yeah.
Do ants even have hearts?
Ants do not have hearts.
That's it? That's all you got?
Oh.
You want to expand on that at all?
Well, that's not true. My Aunt Ann, she's a wonderful woman. And every year, she sends me an envelope with $5 on my birthday, which so far is still in March. And I think that it shows that my Aunt Ann has a giant heart. So I'm going to say that, yes, ants...
Wait, did you mean ant like the insect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it still applies. My aunt, yeah, she's got the...
Oh, your aunt is an actual ant.
An insect, yeah.
Oh.
It's kind of nuts, but
Kafkaesque.
you know, we're an open family. We love everybody. So yeah, ants have hearts.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There's your answer.
Is that okay? Do you like ants?
Yeah.
What's your favorite ant?
I like the big black one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't those guys bite?
I don't like fire ants.
No.
No, I don't think most people don't.
Those one bites.
Yeah.
The big black ones don't bite.
I thought the big black ones do bite. No.
They don't.
Oh.
No.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Marlo.
Thanks, pal.
And
thank you.
because you asked the question, or you came up with the question.
I needed help. This is the worst episode.
Yeah, we're trying to decide if it's the worst episode we've ever had.
I didn't think so.
I think people will comment. Let's just wait and see how people comment. All right, thank you, honey. I'll be out there in a second. Thank you.
It's like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
I guess I really opened myself up here.
It's good. You're vulnerable. You know, you show you're not.
I'm not afraid.
You're not afraid. You're not particularly intelligent, but that's part of being vulnerable.
I never said I was.
Admitting, your limitations.
Yeah. So that's good. So this ended on a high note, I think. Then. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to plug? Get out there.
I would like to plug, if you're a member of the Voting Academy, I think that you should...
it might be a little late for that, but thank you.
Really? Oh.
Dude, it ends in I found this out yesterday in the last days, I think.
I thought this was live. Oh.
Mm-mm.
Is this not live?
Are we not live right now?
No.
This isn't going out?
Well, it'll go out eventually. It'll go out in 2 to 3 weeks.
Well, then, I mean, I think a new season of Impractical Jokers starts in July.
Man, you guys are... I had so much fun doing that show.
You were like the best. You took it so seriously. We were so intimidated by you, and you came in. I wanted to tell you this. You were the one that was like in the writer's room. It was awesome having you on, man.
It was my pleasure. I was at a particularly low point, and I don't think my wife was back from Toronto yet. Maybe she was, but we were stuck in Toronto for COVID for a while, and I didn't work. Hadn't done stand up, and I had such a. First of all, I really like the show. I love watching you guys. And I'm not being sarcastic. Phony. That's God's honest truth. And I have so many highlights from watching the show, and it makes me smile. And
thank you, man.
And I like that you guys fuck with each other, not other people. Like, that's important, I think. And were you the one who was in had to drive the Muppets? Oh my Lord.
That was 12 hours.
That's one of the most insane,
dude.
And like my experience, when we shot that thing with Murr, it was hour and a half, easy, an hour and a half, and it gets cut
7
down
minutes,
to a couple minutes. Like I would like to see all 12 hours of you in the car with the puppets.
It's there. The sound guy had it worse than me because he had to follow listening.
Oh my God!
It was god
How
awful.
long did it take you to get that out of your head?
Oh, it's sweet. Now we're touring. We do we do a bit on stage. I have the puppets on stage with us.
It's insane.
It was wild. And they cut a bit that didn't make air. It's the last 2 hours of it. It didn't work for television, so we had to go back and change it. But the last 2 hours, they sped the music up so that it was twice. It was just like, and you see it, like nothing was fake. And then at the end of the night, and this wasn't even on air, I end up getting to Murr's house, 12 hours.
It's crazy that you had to listen.
Dude, we don't fake it. It was real. So then I got out of the car, and because I drove to Murray's house, they had an Uber or whatever bringing me back to my home. And I get in the car, and we get 2 blocks from Murray's house, and the guys had paid the guy to play the song the entire ride home. No cameras, no audio. It was literally just to fuck with me for the extra 45 minutes on the way home. And he wouldn't shut it off. He would not shut it off the entire way home. Son of a bitch. Yeah, it's a good time.
Can you sing the song? Do a little
Oh yeah. Drive, 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 drive. It feels so good to be alive. Are we there yet? No. Are we there yet? No. Well, then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's drive, 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 and over and over and over and over. They did the math. I forget what the number is, but it was thousands of times I had to listen to that 30-second fucking song. Yeah, it was wild.
With those goofy puppets too, all dancing around in your
like
car.
A Chuck E. Cheese from hell. The air conditioning didn't work.
Oh, it's brutal.
It was brutal.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Thank you. I really endured that one. Well, thanks for having me on, man. This was like a kind of a dream come true. I'm a massive, massive fan of yours.
Oh, thanks, man. And again, I had so much fun doing that show. Really enjoyed it.
Anytime you want to come back, man.
Sure. You let me know. I'm happy to.
Any day you want to come to set and come play, that is open invite. We would love to.
Well, I'll talk to Dexter.
Yeah. I mean, he'll make it happen.
Yeah. I was like going through a rough patch, and it was just the highlight of my month.
Dude, I have goosebumps, man, to hear you say that and to I'm not kidding, to do that for everything, that all the enjoyment I've gotten out of watching you, to hear that is pretty spectacular.
Well,
so thank you. Thank you for that.
Right back at you. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was a Headgum podcast.